Good evening, beautiful people. So it is Talk Travel to be Thursday. I am your host, Ms. Zandra Sexton Holmes, the owner of Explore Blue Travel. And as promised, we have our guest here tonight, the lovely Miss Candace Starks from Your Way Out. So she will be our special guest tonight, where we will be doing a deep dive about mental health and wellness and travel and what does that mean to everybody. I know the community is mostly full of females, but I think a lot of things that she'll be sharing can also be applied to all genders. So with that being said, I'm gonna start the video. When you come in, you already know the rules. Let me know where you're watching from, okay? And then if you did not give StreamYard your permission, I'm only gonna be able to see user. So I'm not gonna see your name. So if you could drop your name so that when we are talking, I can engage with you, okay? And then also to shout out where you're watching from, okay? So if you ain't scared, okay, rep your city, okay, rep your hood, okay? So if it was me, I would put hashtag Dallas, okay? So make sure you put that in the comments, and we're gonna get started in about a minute. So I'm gonna do the video and then tag your people, invite your people out, and I might just do a giveaway, okay? But you got to stay until the end, okay? So let me get started with this, and then I'll let Miss Candace introduce herself after this video. We're going to and I got one more, y'all. Okay, awesome. Okay, so what I'm going to do is y'all know me, right? Because I'm always here on Thursday. But before I give it to Candace, what I'm going to do is tell you what we got going on, because does anybody know what type of year it is? Does anybody know what type of year it is? And I'm going to um I don't know if you follow me on social media or not, but I've been doing a lot of jumping and a hopping. So that should give you some type of clue of what type of year it is. But 2024 is known as a leap year. A leap year, okay? So leap years occur about every 4 years, and you get that extra day in February. So February felt a little long for you. That's the reason why, okay? We had an extra day this month. Typically February ends on the 28th, but for this month it did not. Okay. So it's a leap year. So what we're doing here at Explore Blue Travel is we're actually having a leap sale. So you can take 29% off planning fees, and I'm going to drop the code for you so that you can use it. And this is going to be valid until the end of the weekend. So that's the extra treat for you, just in case we got some people who are indecisive. You can have some time to use it. Okay. And then also too, at the bottom of the screen, there is a running banner. That banner gives you information about how you can subscribe to our list so that you can stay in the know once we drop our new group trips, which will be happening within any day now. Okay. It's like a surprise, and you never know when it's going to be. So make sure you have subscribed to our email list. And then also too, the running banner also includes a link where you can get a free guide to New Orleans. Okay. A free guide to New Orleans. And I don't know about you, but New Orleans to me is always a good time. Like really, always a good time. How about you? Candace, do you like New Orleans?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Talk
I
about
mean New Orleans
food.
is good.
Woo. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So make sure you get your free guide to New Orleans. And as y'all know, we are doing Essence Fest this year, and I'm gonna drop that link for Essence Fest. Okay. and then we are going to get started with introducing Miss Candace. So, Miss Candace, if you would tell us a little bit about you, and what made you get into therapy, how long you've been doing it, and your name, because I love your name of your business. Tell me
Right.
more about it.
So yes, I'm Candace Starks. I'm a licensed professional counselor, and my practice name is Your Way Out. I've been in practice for 4 years now. I actually started January 2020, but I've been a therapist for, not to give away my age, I've been in this field well over 20 years. Believe
Oh,
it.
girl, I know you telling a lie. Over 20 years.
Yes. Remember,
Oh,
we met each other when I was probably 23 or
right,
24. And during that time, while we were working together back in the day, I went back to school and to do my master's program in
I
counseling.
remember.
Right. So when I left there, actually, before I even started there, I was in the field of behavioral health. I was working
Right,
in substance abuse. So right after graduation from my bachelor's, I went into substance abuse treatment. Then I worked for the state. Then I decided to go back to school, get my master's in counseling, and there goes the show. So I went on into doing that therapy work. I think what drove me into that field in particular is because I just like working with people. I like helping people, and I like being a place where people can come and talk and not feel judged. They can express
right.
themselves with some tools to help them manage moods and emotions or whatever daily stresses they're having. I like to be that place for them to go and feel safe. So that's what made me start in the field. And it's interesting that when you asked me to come in today and talk about travel and self care, I'm like, this is right up my alley because I kind of call myself the self care therapist because I'm so big on promoting self care and how to do it and understanding that self care doesn't have to be expensive. It's just taking the time to care for your own needs. Now, if you want to make it luxurious, baby, make it luxurious. Do the thing, but you don't always have to do that. But you
Right.
must take time out because it's necessary. It's not something that has to be luxurious, but it is a necessity. Hold on, let me. I'm so sorry, guys.
Absolutely.
Let me
Absolutely.
put this on focus.
So
Okay.
tell me this, Candace. How did you come up with your name?
Your
Your
way
way
out.
out.
That name, I went through a couple of names, but I kept coming back to Your Way Out because I want to help people find their way out of confusion, depression, anxiety, troubled relationships, anything that they feel is covering them and holding them down. I want to be that source or that resource to help them find their way out of it. And
Okay.
that's
Okay.
ended up there. Mhm.
Okay. And the thing about it is it's so simple, but it's so laser focused because like if I was Googling you and I came across that name Your Way Out, I would know exactly like this person is in some type of therapy. This person can help me to get to the next stage or get through my situation that I'm currently going through. So like when your name to me is just so, I mean, they always tell you, you know, your name says a lot about, you know, a
Mhm.
person or a business or a place. And your way out is like, I mean, it can't be no clearer than that. You know, when people find you, they know like, hey, she is my solution to help me finding my way out. So I really, really love your name.
Thank you for saying that. It's funny because I had one person come to me and say, I thought you were a bail bondsman. What? Had me rethinking my name. Like, wait a minute. I thought it was clear.
Oh my gosh, girl, that is funny. I've never heard that. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I guess in people's mind what they are
Yeah.
currently going through. I can
Mhm.
see how somebody would say that, you know what I'm saying? Perhaps, but no. For me, it's like, okay, your way out, you know. But oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Yes, ma'am. Well,
Okay.
yeah.
So where are you located at? And like kind of walk through us a day in the life of you being an LPC. And I know today for you was pretty eventful. So like kind of give us an idea.
Okay, well, first let me tell you where I am. I'm actually virtual throughout the state of Georgia. I initially had a practice location in Snellville, Georgia, but of course, I told you I started in 2020, so
Right,
COVID, most things had to go virtual. And then
right,
even after it kind of subsided, I went back into the office, but most clients had gotten used to virtual and they like the convenience of virtual. So eventually I said, you know what, I'm gonna let the space go and just keep my clients virtually because that's what they wanted anyway. Um,
right.
like I said, I've been doing it since, or at a private practice since 2020. And each year it continues to grow. Many different people come in, and for a lot of different reasons. Not every person that comes is what we would call has a psychological diagnosis, like an official diagnosis of anxiety or depression, but they know something is not feeling right. They just can't get it together or whatever, and they need to talk. So I open the floor, we discuss what's going on. I usually do like a 15-minute consultation for any new people to
Okay.
see what's going on. Once we talk about it a little bit and see if I'm a good match for them, if they're a good match for the practice, then we'll go ahead and schedule that initial appointment, which is a full out of.
Oh, I love that. I love that, right? Because as a therapist, you kind of with your expertise and your experience, you kind of know like if that client is a right fit for your company and everything, right? And then in the event when you do encounter someone and they are not a good fit, like what does the conversation look like? And like, do you have like a referral system that you use to kind of point them somewhere else?
Absolutely. And that's typically where that conversation goes. We'll talk about the appropriateness of fit. And then I'll say, I don't think this is quite the space that you need to be in, or you will get the most help. So let me help you find somebody else. Here's a couple of people that I know, or here's a list that I can provide to you. And we'll go about it that way. Sometimes I even have to research myself if they're coming in for some
Right.
specific need, like eating disorders. I don't specialize in eating disorders. So I wouldn't want to take that person on. You want to be very responsible as a therapist on the type of client you receive because you want to do no harm.
Right.
I don't know enough about it. I could do some research, but I'm not the best. I don't specialize at this. So I'm gonna
Right. You
point
don't
you.
specialize in everything. You know what your niche is and what you
Correct.
specialize in, and you're gonna stay within that scope.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Okay. I absolutely love that because with travel, you know, with travel is a whole lot of places you can go, right?
Mhm.
And I know when I first started, I wanted to help everybody. Like literally, you know what I'm saying? You wanted to go everywhere. I'm like, I can do it, I can do it. But then you, like you said, you slowly realize, like, hold on, if I'm doing like everything, like what is that real is that really beneficial? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I like that you has that one, you have a specialty and you know, hey, if you meet within these guidelines, then you can, if we vibing, we good. If not, I need to refer you somewhere else.
Right. Right. I am not afraid of referring out because I don't want to hurt the client. They're coming for help. Why am I going to add more to their stress?
Right. Right.
Mm.
Okay. Good. Good. I like that. Okay. So, let's talk about how can travel serve as a form of therapy for those struggling with mental health issues. And if you would, could you share some examples of how a change in environment has brought about a positive impact?
Yes. So traveling, first of all, it gives you that opportunity to disconnect and to recharge. Oftentimes we are burning both ends of the stick because if it's
Say that
women,
again.
men too, but women especially, I feel we're running the house, we're at the job, we're taking care of the kids, we're taking care of the partner, whatever it is you got going on, and you usually forget to put yourself on that list. So when we travel, when we get away, we get an opportunity to disconnect and to recharge and refuel so we can go back in there and be everything that we try to be in our daily lives. So
Ex-
that's one of the biggest benefits is the disconnection and
right,
the
right. Exactly. And for me, it seems like when I get to that new environment, that new setting, that new place, it's like I think differently. My body responds differently. Like it's like, I don't know if it's because of the newness of it, but
Mhm.
it makes me feel like I can be the better version of myself because like you said, a lot of times at the home, we're doing so many things. We're running around with the kids, making sure they get here and to. We're taking care of, responsibilities in the house. Then, most of us are working jobs or running businesses or just have family issues. So it's a whole lot happening in your current city or environment. And when you get ready to go away, it's like, oh man, this is nice, right? You don't have to get up early to take that child somewhere, or you don't have to be somewhere at a certain time. You don't got to clock in and see that client. So it's really, to me, it's very reviving. So I come back refreshed. I'd be like, oh my goodness, I feel like 200% better.
So you can take on anything after that because you had that moment to just sit back and not have to be responsible or be this person or you could just be you. You can take in your environment. You can explore. So it is a reset. And I think it's the place that you are too, because it's not a reminder of the day-to-day task and the responsibilities, but it also gives you an opportunity to settle in, ground yourself, and then to kind of reflect on the things you want to change about your days. Like, you know what, I can do this a couple of times a year. You start thinking, like, I need to plan another one of these because your body and your mind needs it. We need a chance to unplug and just disconnect.
Right.
So you're activating what we call the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the relaxation center of our brains. You're activating that because you're not moving. You're not feeling on edge. And I got to get to this. Oh, here's this deadline. You ain't thinking about none of that. You get to chill. You take some deep breaths. You can sit back. You're activating that relaxation part. So that's why we feel so rejuvenated when we come back.
Nice. Now look, sis, you done put me up on game because go ahead and repeat that scientific term that you just said not too long ago.
I try not to be too psychological and neuroscience, but just so you can know what's going on up in here, we do have our automatic nervous system, correct?
Okay.
We have that part of our brain, that amygdala, that gets heightened. That's our fight or flight. That's like our body's alarm system to tell us when something needs to happen, or we need to fight, or we need to do this. Sometimes when we get overwhelmed, when we get too stressed, or if we deal with anxiety, that part of our brain can be overstimulated. So it's always on go, and we always feel on edge. So we have to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. That's the other side that brings on the relaxation, the calm. It tells that part of our brain, the amygdala, calm down, we good, ain't nothing to fight about. Now we need that part,
right?
But we don't need it to be activated all the time. So we got to learn how to care for it. Activate the parasympathetic, deep breathing. Like, for instance, if you were on a beach, just sit back and watch that water coming in, watch the waves come, watch them recede, and breathe with the ocean. That deep breath is activating your parasympathetic. It's helping you to calm down.
Wow. Okay. So I hope y'all getting these gems that she's dropping, because listen, like, I think the part of my brain wants to always activate in a relaxed mode. You hear me? Like, because I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, I crave it. Like, my body crave it. And I can kind of tell when I'm getting on edge, when I'm being a little bit too anxious. And then it's like my body's telling me, like, okay, Zandra, it's time for you to escape, Now, what about for people who struggle with escaping because they feel like they are, I don't know, like sometimes, especially for women, it depends on our age of our kids or what we are, involved in with our community. A lot of times we feel like we got so many responsibilities and tasks that if we escape, how will all those things get done? Because our presence is not there, and will it get done? Like, what advice would you give someone who is dealing with that, whereas they know, like, I need to escape, I haven't took a vacation and God knows when, but I just feel so stressed. Like, on my vacation, I'm gonna be stressed. It's gonna be like that mom on the phone, like, probably calling every 30 minutes, checking in, trying to figure out what's going on.
They got these tomorrow. Did you? Yeah. What I would say to that parent is to, if it will help you, leave instructions. If it'll help you, do that.
That's good.
Fine. Just leave your instructions if that'll help. But most importantly, plan your trip and get out of there. Because what will happen eventually, God forbid, but eventually we all got to leave here. You don't want to leave here because of stress and a heart attack or other medical situations caused by stress, because stress is the number one killer, and that's the number one contributor to any medical condition. So you don't want to leave here because of that. But you will if you don't allow yourself time to, what we just said, disconnect, recharge, refuel. You will, because of stress. And
Right.
then who's gonna be doing that? All them things you worried about. Who's gonna be
Right.
doing it too? Because you won't be able to call in and check.
Right.
Plan
Right.
your trip. Take care of you. You are a priority. I know we got our babies, we got our partners, we got all these things we're responsible for. But they're gonna have to take a 5-minute or a 5-day break while
Absolutely.
you go and do you, because you deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't keep running on empty. Go get fueled.
Right.
That's
Right.
what I'm gonna tell you to do. If you can't take, let me say this, Zandra, if you can't take you a 5 to 7 day trip, start small, do a little small excursion. Like for me in Georgia, I can drive 2 hours and still be in Georgia, and that's still a little getaway. So do a little weekend or do a day trip, but start small and give yourself that break. And eventually you're gonna be like, oh, I need more than this.
Right.
They were all right. That was a test drive. They were fine. I'm gonna book this 3-day, then I'm gonna book that 5-day. So just
Right.
do it anyway. They will be okay.
I like that. I like that. I think what you just shared was very practical. And because a lot of times it feels overwhelming, right? We love our babies and we like, but, and we have all these things, right, that we're thinking about. But even if you can just get away with just starting small, maybe it's just a weekend getaway, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then from there, just grow and grow until you feel comfortable. And then you'll feel better. And then more than likely the child will feel better. And whoever caring for the child too, right?
Let me tell you something. The kids need a break from us just as much as we need one from them.
Hallelujah, girl. Listen, don't I know?
They need it.
Don't I know? Hey, touche, girl. Listen, because they probably like, my children probably like, Lord, I can't wait till she go on her trip. Lord.
Right. My daughter asked me, I was like, when you gonna go do something? You always in the like, girl, you just don't know. I'm trying.
Right. That part.
They need a break from us too. It's okay.
Absolutely. Okay, so in your experience, Candace, what are some mindful practices travelers can incorporate into their journeys to enhance their mental wellness?
Okay, well, I mentioned one earlier, the deep breathing. So wherever you are, be it a beach or you're in the woods in a cabin or something, wherever you go, just take a moment to take some breaths and really be present and be in that moment. Deep breathing, you can do it anywhere, but I really would like for people to practice that on their vacations, because it really helps you to get grounded when you take that breath and just take it in, So that's number one. One of my other favorite mindfulness activities is the 5 senses. And I'll try to explain that quickly.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, honey, listen, I love the senses, honey. So yes, please share the tea, honey.
And that's how you stay in the moment, by incorporating all of your senses. And we want to incorporate our senses when we're traveling because we want to see the sights. We want to hear the sounds. We want to feel that experience.
Baby, listen, baby, I want to eat. I want to go and say, I want to taste the food.
Yes. I always want to know the good restaurants. And not all the ones on the famous part. Take me to the
off the beaten path.
Yes, take me over there. But the 5 senses. So I love the beach. So that probably will always be my first example. But if I'm sitting on the beach, I will think about 5 things that I can see. Right? Just look around. What do you see? You see the water, you see a boat off in the way, you see a seagull or whatever. 5 things, name them. 5 things you can see. And then 4 things you can hear. Just listen, be quiet, be in the moment. 3 things you can feel. 2 things you can taste. And 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. So that way you're incorporating all of your senses, you're being present, and you're just kind of taking in your surrounding. You're noticing what's going on around you. Easy mindfulness practice. And that's one that I often give my clients, even if they're not traveling or going somewhere, but because they're anxious or they have a lot of thoughts going on. I said, go take a walk. But this time, when you take a walk, instead of thinking about all those things, all those
Mhm.
tasks, or that last argument, instead of thinking about that on your walk, do the five senses. See what's around
Nice.
you. Be in that moment. Just be there. Don't be with the argument. Don't be with the frustration. Don't be with all those thoughts. Just be with yourself and notice what's around you. And you can do that
Nice.
anytime, anywhere.
Nice. Okay, so I was trying to take notes. So let me see if I got all of them. I think I missed
Okay,
one.
let me
You
see.
said, okay, so the first one was name 5 things you can see. So that's your
Mhm.
visual.
4 things you
Then
can hear. Mhm.
4 things, you say 4 things to listen
That you can hear. Yeah,
that you
same.
can hear.
4 things
Okay.
you can hear.
And then I think I missed the number 3.
Three things you can feel.
3 things you can feel. Okay.
Mhm. And you got the other, yeah, 2 you can taste and 1 you can, I mean, yeah, 2 you can smell and 1 you can taste. Yes,
Nice.
that's
Okay.
right.
Okay. I like that. I really, really love that. And I'm going to be more mindful of doing that too, because a lot of times when I'm on vacation, it was so funny. I remember one vacation, I try to be mindful of where I have my phone because, in these days and time, we are kind of just glued to our devices, right?
Yes.
So at this particular bar we were at, I noticed that me and Wilson didn't have our phone, but
Mhm.
everybody else around us had a
As
phone,
a
right?
phone.
So
Uh-huh.
and they just and I just sat and observed and just did like a minute, you know what I'm saying, count. And then I said, we here in beautiful Jamaica and everybody on their phone instead of just soaking in the moments and the beauty and the all what
Mhm.
you just said. And they were like, oh my gosh, we don't know you, but thank you for bringing that to our attention, right? Because
Yes.
everybody's just in there, and more than likely they probably was on social media, they probably was texting somebody back home, doing whatever. But I think a lot of times people just be so scared to detach from their phone, like they feel like they are missing something. Like us mamas, it's like,
Baby.
well, if we don't have it, what if
Mhm.
somebody contact me about the kids, or if this? And I'm like, y'all, like literally, whatever
It's
it
an
is,
addiction.
it can wait. It's
It's
not
a
going to, like, the world is not going to shut down if you don't have your phone for like an hour or two.
correct. But checking our phones it's an addiction.
Mhm.
Most people wake up in the morning, first thing they grab is their phone.
Girl, I'm guilty.
I know I am. I know I am. It's an addiction. And then when I don't have it, I'm just like, now where I put my can't believe I don't have my phone. Where did I put that? But you're right. When we're out and we're trying to travel, we're trying to get away, we need to put that phone down because
Right.
you can't be in the moment. You can't really take in all of your surroundings when you connected to this extra extremity because that's what it's become.
Honey, listen. Oh, Jesus,
That's what it's
honey,
become.
that right there is a whole message by itself, honey, because
Right. We can
I
do a
tell
whole
you,
session on that.
you
Mhm.
know, in the Blue Squad travel community, I'll do like certain questions like who can be without their phone for like a few hours or half a day, or who can go to a cabin trip and don't have their phone and they lock it away.
Mhm.
Honey, people be looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, what? Like
Oh,
my
yeah.
phone? Like, no, 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 no. I can't do it. But I
Like you
think
asked them to
too,
leave their head. No, it's your
right, right,
baby.
right. But I think that once we are aware of it and we are conscious about like what we're doing, then you're gonna make better choices, right? So you're gonna
You will.
know the next time when maybe you're having an intimate dinner, with your loved one, or time with your family at the table,
Mhm.
or you are really on that vacation, you know what I'm saying, with your loved one or with your friends, you are embracing that moment and you
Mhm.
are actually experimenting. Because I think it's a saying that go like sometimes the best moments are not even captured. You know
Right.
how you be like, man, I wish I would have got a picture or a video of that and it was
Mhm.
so great. But it's like, do you really want it to get a picture or video? Because I mean, yes, we are collecting the experience of the moment, but sometimes that kind of take away from it
It
too.
takes from the moment.
Yeah,
Instead of just being in the experience,
right.
we have to learn how to be in the experience again. I love technology. I love my phone. I love all of it.
Hmm.
I will say I'm addicted. Hello, my name is Candace. But
Hey, sis, you ain't by yourself. I am too. Listen.
I am. I work from it and all the other things. But it's something that's priceless about just being present and being in that moment. Sometimes if it's so good and you get used to not being on your phone, when it's so good, you forget about even pulling out your phone. You know,
Right.
so we have to be intentional about that though, and really make those efforts to be there, to be present, enjoy
Mhm.
that good thing without looking for, oh shoot, let me try to, and then I got to
Right.
get to the camera, and then I done probably missed half of it trying to whip out my
Absolutely.
phone.
Yep.
So
Yep.
be
Well,
mindful
good, good,
about
good.
that too.
Right, right. Good.
Mhm.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. So, and I think we kind of touched on this, but I'll ask it because it might, I see that we got some more viewers coming. What
Okay.
advice would you give to someone who feels overwhelmed by the
Mhm.
ideal of traveling due to anxiety or
Yeah.
depression? How can they gently ease into the ideal of travel as a form of self-care?
Yeah, I think we did kind of brush on that. And I was talking about taking small excursions, like doing a small getaway,
Mm-hmm.
something that is local, that won't take you too long to get there. And if you already deal with anxiety and depression or anything like that, that may cause a barrier for you to make those plans, then do something very simple. Write down what you, especially if you're an overthinker or you have anxiety, write down
Mm-hmm.
your own plans and do something that requires you to drive. If you can drive, if your anxiety
Okay.
doesn't keep you from driving, do something that you can drive to. Because that way, the anxiety of, am I going to get to the plane on time? Am I going to get to, all of that is not even a factor because you're
It's
in control.
eliminated. Mm-hmm.
Right. So you build in some barriers for yourself if you do some protective barriers if you do have anxiety or depression because you can control some of those circumstances. You can drive, you can set your own timer when you want to be there, you can pack your stuff. You know, you can do all of these things yourself and not have to worry about this big itinerary from someone else and these expectations of other people because when we have anxiety, it's not just our own stuff that we're anxious about, it's what people going to think or what they're going to expect
Yes.
us to do. And I got to be there because they might be there, all of those thoughts. So to avoid that and to ease your way into traveling, plan something simple for yourself where you can drive a local destination that gets you away, gives you a moment to just breathe, be by
Mm-hmm.
yourself, or if you want to take a friend, but start there. And if you can't do that yet, start doing like day dates with yourself.
Oh,
Take
I
yourself
like that.
somewhere around in the city, somewhere you keep passing by, like, I want to go there one day. Go. Plan
Right.
your own day. Plan a spa day where don't just go in and get your massage. Go get your 2 hour massage, get a facial, get mani pedi, do all of that. Take you about 4 or 5 hours away from the kids, away from the home, away from whatever responsibilities you have, and then break yourself in that way. Because you're
I
gonna
like it.
love that feeling and you're
I
gonna
like
want it
it.
more.
Right, right. I like that. I like that.
Mhm.
So, I really love the idea of because a lot of people like I know other women who like let's say they're in a relationship, right?
Mhm.
Whereas they may love flying, they may love cruising, but their partner, their spouse is like, "Oh, no, 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 no. I can't do that. Like I can't go on no
Mhm.
plane. I can't go on no ship. We got to do a
Mhm.
road trip." And most of these women have basically compromised, whereas they kind of meet each other middle ground, whereas they'd be like, okay, if we when we do get away and go on our vacations, we know it's going to be a road trip, X amount of hours, you know what I'm saying? Because it's helping that person's, you know what I'm saying, anxiety and
Yeah.
fear, but then it's also letting her having the ability to be able to bask with her significant other in
Yeah.
that destination, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't really think that was a thing, but then I started running into more women where it was common. I would be
Mhm.
in travel status somewhere and they'll be by themselves and they'll be like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm
Mhm.
with, like either they were married or in a relationship, but it was like my partner is too, you know what I'm saying, fearful. They will not fly, they will not cruise. And it's
Mhm.
like, so what kind of suggestions and tips would you give somebody like that? Because maybe it's new to them and they might think that's bizarre. Like, what? You won't get on
Right.
no ship. You won't get on no flight. Like me, you can't be together. Like,
Right. But that may be a limitation for the partner, and you all can talk about that. You can discuss it. You can, even if it's that severe, maybe suggest getting some help around that, so they talk about it and maybe do a little exposure therapy and try to get them to take short trips, short
mhm,
flights, just from Georgia to Miami or something. Just do little
right.
short things and see if you can get to that place. if you can't get to that place, then you got to do what works for your relationship. You can't base it on other folks' relationship.
Honey,
If
say that again.
right, you got to do what works for your relationship. So if road trips with your significant other works, it meets that person's need to not be able to get on a plane or get on a boat, and you still get to go somewhere, do that. And if your partner is okay with you having your solo trip or your group trip where you can join a travel group or a travel club, then go do that so you can meet that need to go abroad.
Right.
But make sure it works for you. I'll have those conversations. Don't just discount or discredit that person because of their fear. Try to talk to them about it. Try to comfort them. See what you can do to protect them in that moment. But also make sure you're getting your needs met, because sometimes women get stuck trying to help everybody else that you don't get to live your life authentically. So
Right.
do what you got to do with your person, and also do what you got to do for you, and
For
make
yourself.
sure that, yes, make sure y'all are on the same page.
Right. Right. I
Mhm.
like that. I like that. Okay. And we're about to wrap up. Could you share insights on the importance of cultural sensitivity and awareness and how travel experiences can affect our mental health? How can embracing different cultures enrich our understanding of ourselves and our approach to mental wellness?
You know, when you think about cultural sensitivity and awareness, I often think about our own ability to be open to different experiences. And then, as far as a benefit, let me go to this piece first before I lose it. One of the benefits of being open and aware about cultural experiences is that you may walk away with a new sense of gratitude, because depending on
Yes.
where you are, and you see that they live maybe way lower than what we call the poverty line, you get another little sense of gratitude
You
for your
sure
own
do.
life. So when you go back, you're like, oh, well, shoot, it ain't that bad. You know,
Right.
you get that sense of gratitude. And also just the experience and being open to learn new things about people. It's a beautiful thing. Everything is not your little area, okay?
Right. It's not our
Everything is
own
not
bubble.
your
Right. It's a
window.
big world out here.
It's
Right.
a huge world out here. So go and explore and be open to learn, because you'll be surprised. You might learn stuff you want to take back with you. Talk about food, because I'm a foodie. You might learn some foods that you might want to try at home, because I think I went to TikTok culinary art school. I just been cooking because of all these little videos. So I've
Listen,
been
you
inspired.
sound like Zaria. Okay. Listen.
Really? Baby, I go to TikTok culinary art school. But yeah, these experiences, these excursions will open you up to try new things, to learn more stuff. And of course, my favorite is the gratitude piece. Just
Right.
being grateful for the experience. You get to see something maybe your parents, your grandparents, people in your family maybe never seen. That's a
Mm-hmm.
new level. And then you get to expose your children to that. That's a new level, because the world we grew up in, and we ain't that old, but the
Right.
world we grew up in is different from what our kids are going to experience. So
Absolutely.
use that travel experience as an opportunity for you to learn, for you to pass that lesson on to your children, and get the exposure and give it to them as well.
Right, right. And I think I love the piece you said about giving that experience to our kids, because
Mhm.
when I say I strongly believe in that, I'm so passionate about that, because a lot of times us as adults, we will pass on our own struggles and
And feed.
insecurities and fears, and we don't even consciously know what we're doing, and our children see that. So before you know it, they're scared to fly, they're scared to move out the state, they're scared to visit Africa, they're scared to, go on a group trip, because we've kind of built that into them, and we're
Mhm.
not actually knowing, like, okay, where did this fear come from? Right? It was planted at some point, and then
Yeah.
from there it kind of just grew and it grew, and it got to a point where now it is so large, where the kid is like, no, like,
I'm
I can't
not.
never ever leave the United States. It's not safe.
Mhm.
I feel like something is going to happen to me, right? So I always tell people the best gift that they can give their children is introducing them to the world of travel as early as possible, because when you do that, it just really opens their eyes, their perspective, their viewpoint, and,
Mhm.
and they get to see the world in a different way,
Yes.
being somewhere else different. Yeah.
Mhm. And I think we all deserve it. We all should have that opportunity, but we know that not everyone will get it. But if
Right.
you're in a travel group or you want to take a trip, I say go for it. Go as far away as you can.
Okay.
Bring your babies with you if you can,
Hmm.
but make that a thing. Let's break this because it could be a generational thing. Our
Right.
parents or their parents didn't go anywhere. I know in my family, to be transparent, my grandma and them didn't go anywhere.
Right.
Everybody's in Montgomery, Alabama.
Right.
They weren't going nowhere. I went on a cruise and asked grandma. She said, "Oh, I can't drink that much water or whatever
Right.
phrase
Right.
was something old." And, I'm like, really? And it was just a cruise to the Bahamas, but
Right.
we gotta break those the cycle, and
Right.
get out there because the world that these kids are coming up in is going to be totally different.
It
So
is. It
you might as
is.
well expose them.
Right, right.
You know.
So Candace, I know you had wanted to share with the community. You just recently did actually a 30-day self-care journal. Can you share with us where we can find it at and like what's included and how it can be helpful and beneficial to anyone who grabs it?
Absolutely. So the next trip you all book, y'all go ahead when you packing your stuff and you're doing your last minutes, go to Amazon.com. Type in my name. You can type in Candace Starks, that's CandaceStarks, and you'll see a list of journals. But I want you to pick up the 30-day. Well, there's the link, the 30-day self-care journal, and take that with you on your vacation. Take a moment to just sit with yourself, a mindful moment. Sit with yourself, plan how you're going to do your self-care. Write out in that journal. I think in the beginning, I wish I had a copy here. I sold the ones that I had on me, but in the beginning of the book, I think there's a letter to yourself, your plan. How are you going to self-care? So you write that letter. Then you do a self-care assessment. In that assessment, you're assessing all the areas of your life, your spiritual self-care, your social self-care, your professional self-care. It's going through all of it. And it just shows you how you rank. So you can look
Okay.
at, okay, I'm going to do that pretty good. Oh, ooh, I need to work on that a little bit. I need to incorporate that. That's all it's for. It's not to make you feel bad about anything, not
Right.
to make you become self-critical, but just to give you that awareness of areas you might need to work on, incorporate more self-care. And then there's a calendar in there where you can plan out. I think I have stuff written in there already where you can
Oh,
do on day
nice.
one, do this, on day two, do that. And it's small things, but you can always add, whatever you want to add to it. So one of them
Right.
might be read a book or read a page from a book. One might be read something motivational or do some yoga today, whatever it is. So you will go through that. And then throughout the book, you can write about your self-care experience, your journey, what you want to do, what you did do, how you are with your goals. But that'll kind of keep you on track for at least 30 days.
Nice. Nice.
You can
Okay.
find it on Amazon. Just click that link there or type in my
Okay.
name.
Yeah, so if you catch this on replay, the link is dropped in the chat. Okay, the 30-day self-care journal, as she stated, can be found on Amazon. I know we love us some Amazon. Okay, so the next time you're on Amazon shopping, just look for this because I think self-care is important. And then it kind of lets you know more about yourself as well, right? Because sometimes we
That's
think we
right.
know ourselves, but we really don't know ourselves. So getting this journal is would be very, very helpful. And for the person or people who stay to the end, I am going to gift you with this self-care journal. So
Awesome.
for the people who stayed to the end, I'm going to gift you with this self-care journal. Okay, so what I need you to do is drop your name right now. Okay, drop your name right now because I've been watching the viewers, so I know who I had. Drop your name right now, and I'm going to gift you with that self-care journal. Okay. Now I'm going to drop Candace's information because she is on social media. Let's say if you or someone maybe looking for someone, you can reach out to her. I just dropped her website, yourwayoutlLC.com. She can be reached at 404-500-6924. Thank you so much, April. Because I think
Congratulations, April.
I think it's so important for us as women and just as people in general to make sure that we are being conscious about our self-care and our wellness and our mental health and things like that, because it affects you tremendously. Like, I know when I'm off, like I know when I'm snapping or like when I'm not right. And I'm like, oh, Zandra, you need to check yourself. Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Because if not, you know, you can really offend somebody and you never know what the other person is going through, right? You never know the thing that could be the thing that takes the other person to the ledge, right? So you got to be mindful about that. And I think that all of us needs a therapist or therapy, okay? Because we be going through stuff in life, and you need to talk. You need to talk to people. You need to talk to professionals, okay? It's okay talking to your girlfriend and your grandma and praying. I'm not saying that's wrong, but we need to seek professional help in therapy. So anything else you want to add, Candace, before I let you go?
Well, let me see. You said social media, but I didn't give you my social media, but it is on Instagram is Your Way Out.
Okay.
LLC, I believe. I'm trying to be more active as far as posting and engaging, but yeah, that's on IG. Absolutely. So I'm trying to do that more, but yeah, you can find me there, follow me there, and I'm sure you'll see other videos and other little tidbits to help you with some mental health stuff or emotional regulation type activities. I try to put that out. I'm going to be more mindful and intentional about it. But
wait, hold on, sis. So it seems like to me you need an accountability partner.
Yes, ma'am. You want to do that?
Yes. Listen, you're gonna get so tired of me. Listen, I see Michelle down here, my girl Michelle Smith. Listen, Michelle, she's gonna get so tired of me. She's gonna be like, Lord Zandra in my inbox again, talking about what I done.
I tried to find me somebody who just manages social media, because between seeing clients doing those, and it's a lot. Managing or supervising interns, it's a lot. But I'm gonna do better. It
is, but the thing about it is, at least you are aware of it, and now you just got to get a plan to get it done, and then that's it, right? So because you know, us as women and as entrepreneurs, we have a lot of things we got to get done. But one thing that I found, and I still struggle with this a lot, is when I start delegating things out to other people, it was like a relief. I was like, oh my gosh, I can breathe. I don't feel so overwhelmed. But when I was thinking I had to do everything, honey, I would just be up racing thoughts like, oh my gosh, I ain't did this, I ain't did this, I ain't did that. So now it has been very helpful with me. You know, like I brought in a VA last year, and then now I outsource other things, and it has really, really helped me where I don't feel like it's so much of pressure on me. So yeah.
Right. And I think people, your listeners need to know that too, because even with planning trips and traveling, because you're doing so much, you tell yourself, well, I don't have time to sit down and try to do that. Or I don't have time to step away. Yet delegate those responsibilities that you can and give yourself that time. So I'm glad you said that again, so we can bring that back and people can hear it. Look, you have the time. You just got to make it and be intentional.
Listen, girl, honey, you speaking my language. I tell people all the time, like it's what you prioritize, right? Like we all get the same 24 hours in a day. Okay.
What you gonna do with your 24?
What you gonna do with it, right? So some people decide, hey, I'm gonna do everything by myself. I don't know if you are actually, you know what I'm saying, making the best use of your time if you do that. And some people like, baby, listen, I'm going to outsource. I'm gonna get so-and-so to do it. I'm gonna pay so-and-so to do it. I'm gonna do, you know, so you just have to realize what you can and can't do. And then I think it works better. And I know, like for me, it's like, but I got to get it done because I want it done a certain way. Girl, listen, it ain't about your way. Like, did they do it to a way that is acceptable? Okay. If it meets those guidelines, move on.
Then move. That perfectionist stuff, honey, it'll get in our way. It'll definitely get in our way.
It definitely will.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So I hope you, the people in our audience, or if you catch this on replay, hashtag replay. As y'all know, this is on YouTube, so you'll be able to come back and watch it on YouTube. You can come back and watch it on here. Make sure you share it. And then also too, if you want to see more of what she shared, certain topics, you know what I'm saying, make sure y'all share that with me so that I can bring her back at a later time. Okay. But again, Candace, thank you for the depths of my heart for doing this for me. We go way, way, way back. And I always say, like, you know, I'm super proud of you. You know what I'm saying? I knew
And I'm
you
so
were
proud
gonna
of you.
be at that job long. Look at that, sis, and you just soaring and you're doing great things. And I love to see somebody who is just, you know, making such impact, you know, in our community. And
Yes.
just, you know, you being you know, the authentic, unapologetic version of you. I tell people that all the time. Just be
Mhm.
you. You know, you can't be nobody else. It's
I
so
don't know
hard
how to
trying
be
to be
nobody else.
right.
Just let me be me.
Right.
You
Yeah.
gonna like it or you're not, and I'm okay because that's your
Right.
business. I'm gonna
Right.
be me.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So I always like that about you. So anyway, thank you so much for spending your Thursday with us, almost an hour. This has been amazing. And remember, y'all, if you ain't talking about no vacation, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. So we got the special, we got the sales, we got group trips open. If you have any questions, just slide in the inbox, send me an email. Y'all know I'm responsive. I'm here for you. And again, y'all in the chat, drop it up for Candace. Everybody saying thank you, Candace. Thank you. So, girl,
Thank
listen, honey, you
you.
killed it, sis. You killed
Thank
it.
you, y'all. Now book y'all trips and invite me.
Yes, book it, book it. Little trips, small trips, big trips, book it.
Book it all. Just
Yes,
go.
yes.
Leave them kids at home. Go and do your
Honey,
thing.
listen. Leave everybody home. The dog, the cat, your
Baby.
partner, whoever you need to, baby. And listen, it'll
They
be
gonna
okay.
be all right. Because you need that. Go get it.
Yes, ma'am. Well, again, y'all enjoy y'all Thursday, and I will be back live next week. Y'all have a wonderful day. And tomorrow is March 1st. So hey, we're marching in.
Let's get it.
Okay, let's get it. Let's get it. Bye-bye.
Bye.